Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I'm alone, and I'll be discussing the third Mad Max movie and the final one from the classic era of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, released in 1985. So this is the last Mad Max movie released in the 90s, in the 20th century, until the release of Mad Max Fury Road in 30 years later in 2015, which we won't cover until like maybe 2026 to be completely fucking honest. But yeah, we're gonna cover that at some point in the future, and that'll be the last Mad Max movie until at least Mad Max: The Wasteland gets made, which is set to be a movie set between this one and Furiosa, or I think between Beyond Thunderdome and Fury Road, which will tie in Beyond Thunderdome to Fury Road sort of era. So yeah, but also it's a bit weird, the timeline with Mad Max, it seems, since Furiosa had to grow up a lot between what we see, and Furiosa grew up a lot, and so had Mad Max to really do that. So I think that's where the theory comes out that Tom Hardy's Max is not the same Max that we see in here. So yeah, because he looks a lot younger than Mad Max would. But yeah, this is the last one. This is also the only Mad Max movie to be rated PG-13, which I will say was a mistake, but we'll get into that later. I was first interested to see how the movie would have played around with that, of having less violence, but it was simply just not really a thing that I think that benefited the movie a lot. Then there's the other thing. This movie is heralded as the worst of the Mad Max movies. 6 out of 6.5 on Rotten Tomatoes, a 3 on Letterboxd, a 3, or at least a 3-star. So, what happened, right? What happened for this movie to have been received so weirdly, both at the time and now, between Mad Max fans? Why is this movie not good? Why did this movie fail? We'll get into that. So, that's really about it. Again, we won't. After this, the next Mad Max movie is Fury Road, and that will be the last one. And there's nothing more to come out of Mad Max, at least for now. We know that George Miller really wants to do another movie called Mad Max: The Wasteland, which we don't know if it's coming out. Apparently, Tom Hardy said that he's gonna be in 3 more Mad Max movies. Yeah, no. Okay. So yeah, it says here that he's adding to the reception Furiosa. So Furiosa was very well received, but then like it didn't. It kind of bombed. Furiosa was not was not received well in the box office. It barely made over its budget, and it still lost money. So yeah, it was Yeah, box office performance has been deemed a failure. Needs to gross 350, 375 million to earn a profit, and now end up losing 75. Okay. Yikes. In April 25, the film lost the studio $119.6 million. That is a lot of money. So, yeah. Uh, it is sitting at. It would. Would it be here? The Marvels is here. That was a huge loss. Oh wait, it would be an F, not a. Yeah, Furious Mad Max Saga is one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. That is sad to see. But yeah, it lost the studio 120 million dollars. It was a sad thing to see, and so Tom Hardy said that he does not think that um it wasn't enough. I don't think that. And and then Tom Hardy said that he didn't think that the movie was getting made because of it. But then said that he was interested in making The Wasteland, but he wanted to make other projects first. So yeah, I don't think we get a lot of. I don't think we're gonna get another Mad Max movie in a while because Furiosa bombed so hard. But yeah, no, it's a bit sad to see, honestly, to see a kind of franchise enter another hiatus, even if even if it was like a really good movie. So I mean, maybe it's maybe the critical reception is a much more inspiring metric, but I don't know. I really don't know how they're gonna handle the Wasteland. But yeah, no, I would hope to see more at least from this franchise. But yeah, this is it for the retro movies, the retro Mad Max movies at least, and that's up Fury Road. So let's go. All right. So we always start off with the effects and action. So the effects here are fine. No, not fine. They are well made. Obviously, it's Mad Max. It's gonna be the highlight of it. The effects, the stunt work, and all, and that's all really well put together for this movie. Definitely, I don't think it's definitely a lot less. I would say. Well, I mean, Bartertown looks really good. Bartertown itself looks really good. I think for what it is and what went into that. I think it all looks pretty good. There's no CGI pretty much in this movie. This was before CGI looked good, so they didn't really use it a lot. And as for the action, in comparison to all of the other Mad Max movies that have come out before and after, this movie is actually kind of tame with its action, and that's really saddening to see. It was always a big part of Mad Max, the action, uh, the the spectacle of it all, which we just don't see in this movie. We see two fight scenes, I would say. One is in the Thunderdome, and then the other is at the end with the train scene, which is very inferior to the the scene at the end of Mad Max 2. That one I think is one of the better action sequences in the entire movie series, in the movie franchise. It feels a lot like a rehash of that, but tuned down a lot, and also not interesting because it's not a truck, it's like a train, a stationary train. I don't think it's as interesting. So yeah, and I think that magic of Mad Max, like effects and action, is still there. However, I don't know if it's really, I don't know, like handled in the best way, and not handled in the best way, but it's not like treated. I don't know. It's just not there at all. Like, it's not. It's only it's only two action scenes. There's really not much outside of that. Nothing big. There's no like impressive effects like any prosthetics or like using anything outside of that. There's no interesting like looking villains here. Nothing I can really say that like the movie like does well in the effects part. It's just kind of the action like at the end is like, I think Thunderdome, the action with the Thunderdome is very interesting, and I feel like it was a lot cooler, but it suffered. I'll say it suffered from the PG-13 rating. If this was rated R, I feel like it would have been a lot more brutal. But I don't know what George Miller tried to fucking go for with this movie, that it was not rated R. This movie, it's not rated R. It's not even unrated. It's just PG-13 full on. So yeah, it's a bit weird, but I feel like again, Thunderdome, the Thunderdome fight is pretty good overall. It's very unique to the franchise itself, and the fight at the end, sure, it's a bit of a rehash of the fight of the ending fight of Mad Max 2, but it's still a pretty decent action sequence. So kudos to that. But I feel like it's a bit uninspired since it is just the exact same thing, kind of the exact same thing we saw at the end of Mad Max 2. It's just kind of rehashed. Now this gang is looking for this person instead of this gang is trying to get the gas from this one settlement. You know, it's instead the settlement going after the gang here instead of the settlement. Yeah, it's settlement going after the gang instead of the gang going after settlement in this movie. That makes any sense. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about the action, the effects in action. Let's move on to the characters. All right, let's start with Max. So Max is still Max. I saw a Reddit post that friend said, "Oh yeah, Max is acting differently in this movie." I don't think he acts different. I think it's definitely, I don't know. He's definitely older. He's acting a little bit more wise, I would say. But overall, I think he's still pretty much the same Max that we saw in the previous two movies. I think what many try to say about this movie is that this is Max's conclusion to his arc, where the first one was him getting consumed by all of the evil that goes on in the world of Mad Max. Then the second one is him within that, kind of finding this light. And in the third one, it's him embracing this light and all that. However, I don't know if it really came across as that, to be completely honest. For me, at least, it doesn't feel like that's where the film tried to take the character. I guess it's rooted in some reality. Obviously, at the start of this movie, Max is still sort of the same thing we kind of saw in Mad Max 2. He's violent. He shoots not a guy's head off, but definitely close. Like he threatens a guy by shooting him. which is the first and only time we see Max shoot someone in this movie. So, yeah. He does show restraint in killing Blaster because of the fact that Blaster uh, isn't isn't mentally capable, isn't a mentally capable person, and or he has like a has like a disability that affects his what is this? Hold on. What was it like? It's yeah, he has an intellectual disability. So I'm not calling it that. Like it's yeah, just an intellectual disability. That's what Blaster has, and Max shows restraint in killing him, but then everyone else kills him anyways. I think, and him helping the children throughout, which I'm gonna fucking get to that goddamn thing. I'm gonna get to the children. I swear, I'm not kidding around. I'm getting to the children. I'm going to get to the children. I promise you. Eventually, in this episode I will talk about the fucking kids. I swear to God, they infuriate me. But yeah, overall, I think this is definitely an evolution of the of the Mad Max character as a whole. I don't know. I just think that like the movie didn't really portray this change well. I don't think he really changed. He definitely wasn't above. He definitely wasn't really like not not wanting to help others. Like he definitely, it's not like that he. It's not like it's something that he didn't want to do. It's mostly just like, I don't know. It's that he was a little bit more reluctant. He was a lot more not sheltered. He was more reserved in those previous movies. That I don't really know if that's something that that's something that to explore more, especially after we already explored it that he doesn't do it for money. But we see here that he has to kind of warm up to the kids. I feel like, or at least helps them, it helps them as to warm up to them and helps them. But even then, it's like it's more to get his own stuff back. I don't know. I feel like Max himself has generally stayed the same from Mad Max 2 to Mad Max 3. Only now he has to have been he had to be toned down because, you know, this is a PG-13 movie now, and that's definitely, I would say, a problem of the movie is the fact that this is a PG-13 movie. It's not meant to be R-rated. We don't really see Max. Like, if they wanted to go in that direction of like warming Max up to be more cooperative, then I feel like having it be R-rated and having it that sort of thing be like a plot point of him being violent and sort of warming up over time would have been an interesting plot point to have. But that's generally not the case that we see in the in this movie. It's just I feel like it's a little. I feel like Max's character as a whole is a little bit undercooked from what from what it really is. From what like they tried, at least like what people say that they try to do with the character. I think it's a little bit undercooked. Speaking of undercooked characters, Auntie Entity. So this is the character played by Tina Turner. Yes, she's in this movie. She's like one of the 2 American actresses or is actress in general in this movie. She is she's only like one of one. She's like one of like 2 in these movies, but she's in here, and she plays the quote unquote main villain of the movie. She makes a deal with Max at the beginning that if he kills this person, then he gets his stuff back. That's really about where it all goes with her. And then obviously, and the person that Max had to kill was Blaster, and he went over like him not wanting to kill him because of Blaster's disability. So what is it? So Max broke the deal, and that really upset Auntie Entity. And then after that, she banished him to the wasteland, and she disappears from the movie completely. I feel like this is sort of a quintessential Mad Max villain. I feel like it could have worked. I feel like the grounds for a good Mad Max villain were there, especially one that has development outside of just the movie, instead of like little bits and pieces here, like how Toe Cutter was, or I forgot his name. Was it like King Brutus or something in the last movie? It was something like that. Humongous. That was him. Lord Humongous. Yeah. So that was one of my main critiques about the first movie, the second movie and the first movie in general, that the 2 main villains I didn't feel were developed as well, or not like developed. We didn't really see them much, and that's just like, we didn't see them much. We didn't understand them much. So that's one of my main critiques. So going into Mad Max 3, I wanted to see, and seeing how they were going to handle this main villain, I was very interested to see where they went in the direction of having, this ally, or this supposed ally, turned an enemy. Well, that didn't happen at all. Instead, Auntie Entity disappears for the entirety of the movie until the finale, where she now wants she wants Max dead and stuff, because she failed, and she gets beaten, and she just leaves Max alive at the end. So yeah, that's a thing that happened. It's stupid. I was really looking forward to this villain, but instead she turned out, like, at the end, because they didn't develop her at all throughout the movie, she essentially just became a cartoonishly evil villain. There's like nothing else aside from just leaving Max alive for seemingly no reason, really. Aside from just kind of failing her mission of getting Master back. So yeah, I just feel like Auntie Entity as a whole is a waste of a villain that I feel like could have been well developed if just the big hour she's not in the movie just had a lot more of her in it. That's what I think, at least. So speaking of that, let's talk about Master and Blaster. These are some of like the main driving forces of the movie. I think Master's a fun character, and the dynamic he has with Blaster is interesting. And how the movie handles him is also interesting. He's the guy who powers the whole city, all of Bartertown, and like without him there wouldn't be any energy and stuff. And Blaster's just muscle, and Auntie 3 wants Master dead because she wants complete control of Bartertown. But I didn't really understand like why Max needed to get Master out of there. I guess it's because he powers all of Bartertown, so like he leads that effort. So like having him outside like, and not really having anyone to do that, like it's gonna fuck up Bartertown. He's like pay them back. He's do some payback for what they did to him. I'm guessing that's where it comes from. But I really don't understand why the fuck the breakout happened at the end. I don't know. I maybe I didn't pay attention enough because the movie was so fucking boring during that like during like the 40 minutes the 40 minutes that we spend after the Bartertown stuff is the most boring part of the movie. Bar none. It is insanely boring. So, forgive me for not really paying attention to what's happening, but maybe I should have rewound and like looked at that stuff again. I don't know. But it was just a massive disappointment overall. So yeah. Sadly, that's what Mad Max is, and I feel like Master and Blaster were really interesting characters, and at least like what Master does and what Master means to the plot. I feel like I think it was handled really well. So next up is Pig Killer. To be completely honest, I actually kind of like what Pig Killer meant as a character and what he like kind of sort of embodied. Where he is this person within Bartertown that committed a crime. He killed a pig, and pigs in Bartertown are very sacred because they provide the energy by people shuffling their shit. Legitimately, that is. I feel like that's a very Mad Max thing to do, where it's like, oh yeah, they use methane, the methane that the pig shit produces to power the town, to power Bartertown. I think that's very like Mad Max thing to do, honestly. And Pig Killer is an interesting thing where he killed the pig because it's food and he needs to feed his family. That was an interesting plot point, interesting thing to bring up. But that's it. It's just an interesting thing to bring up. I don't think he needs to be a completely his own character at the end, where he certainly matters. I don't know. That wasn't a thing I was particularly fussed about, really. That wasn't something I really. It's not something I enjoy. Not that I enjoy. It's just that I didn't really understand why it was so important at the end. I don't know. Just. It was weird. It was just weird what they tried to do with Pig Killer, because he got like no development, no nothing, no scenes after the Bartertown stuff, and then we suddenly have to like care about him. He's a main character now. It's like, come on, no, that's not how it works. So yeah, sadly, what the fuck did I do? Okay, so sadly, Pig Killer, I think, is an interesting concept, but not executed in the best way possible. Next up is Jebediah. So Jebediah is a very minor character in this movie. I do know that, but I wanted to mention him because he is played by the same actor as the gyro captain from Mad Max 2. What was his name again? Bruce Spence, I think his name is. Yeah, Bruce Spence. He played the gyro captain in Mad Max 2, and I thought that the gyro captain was gonna be like. I thought the gyro captain was gonna return to this movie because I saw him in the cast list, but no, he's a completely different character. That's also a pilot. I don't fucking know why, but yeah, that was a thing. There are no returning characters in Mad Max. I should have fucking known that. But yeah, Just interesting thing to bring him back, and he just served like a very minor role where Max just kind of finds him. Like Max gets robbed by him, doesn't really know where he went. He's like, oh yeah, it's you. I know you. You robbed me. And then Matt's like the threatens him like, oh yeah, you have a plane, it might save your life. At the end, and then they got on the plane. Like that's it. That like, and again he disappears. Like it's not even. I thought it was gonna be a minor thing. It was just showed up to, like, to sort of like to get the plot moving. But he was a main driving force for the final act when he disappeared way before the end of the Barter Town stuff. Like we didn't see him at all. So having that, I don't know. I feel like there wasn't enough build up to it. That's just like my thing. But yeah, that's Jebediah, and I just fucking did something. All right. What the fuck? Okay. Now, let's talk about the Planet Earth tribe, just in general, because there are no interesting characters that go outside of that. So, the Planet Earth tribe is about the worst thing that could have happened to the Mad Max universe. They are so annoying. Their story is so fucking boring. I don't care. I don't care. As soon as they start, it ruins everything. It turns everything into a fucking kids movie. I'll talk about it later in the plot, but god damn, like genuinely, they speak in semi-broken English, but I get what they were going for here. I get it, but this is the worst way to go about it, I feel. So what they want to go with was, I think they wanted to show how civilization would have erupted after the fall society. That's what I think they tried to show here with this movie, this specific tribe of people, because this tribe has the origins that they were the descendants of the survivors of a plane crash that happened during the fall of society. However, it's just, I don't know, it's an interesting thing it's an interesting topic to tackle. Where do people go after the false society, and what do they think? What is their mythology? However, I feel like how it's integrated and stuff. Because I don't know. I just don't really feel like it's viable. Like it's something like it's viable. It's like realistic. I feel like, and they're just kind of annoying as characters. Like every single one of them, they speak again. Like I saw people saying, "Oh, they speak in broken English," and it's fucking annoying. Like, I mean, I don't agree, but I don't know. Like I don't agree, but I feel like it. But it's not like that annoying. But still, like it's still a bit weird. I guess what they were going for is that it's a new dialect. Like a new dialect is being formed by these people. Like I get where they were going for here, what they were going for here, but how they were written and how they integrate into the plot is so distractingly not Mad Max that it takes away from the message the movie's trying to, or the message that the movie is trying to impart on the audience. That's how I feel about these characters. They are just, I don't know, not a good representation of that, and I feel like it's almost what is it like not chronological, it's fucking hell. It's anachronistic. There we go. It's anachronistic when you see the timeline, because it just doesn't make any fucking sense. That's how I feel about the Planet Earth tribe. and just general what happens between Mad Max 2 and Mad Max 3 is, I feel like, unnecessary and just kind of does nothing for the plot. That's how I feel about what we see in this in the movie in general. So let's talk about that actually. So the plot of this movie, again, it's very simple. Max goes to Bartertown, the new settlement. I guess he gets shit stolen, goes to Bartertown to get it back. Has to get this task. Doesn't want to kill Blaster from Audi Entity. Doesn't want to kill. Finds out Blaster has a disorder. Doesn't want to kill him. Gets exiled. Meets the kids. They get him confused for Captain Walker, I think it is, who saved the people on the plane. Then after that, like, the kids go to Bartertown. Like the kids go into the desert to Bartertown, or well, they go to the desert to find stuff, to find Tomorrowland, which is what they call cities. And then they get lost. Max finds them, and then they go to Bartertown because it is like the nearest settlement, I guess. Okay, and then after that, they escape. They escape with Pig Killer and Master on a train, and then Jebediah takes them on a plane to Sydney, to the ruins of Sydney, to start a new civilization. That's where it ends. Okay, and Mad Max isn't there at all. Mad Max goes and fucks off somewhere else to continue the Legend of the Road Warrior, shit like that. It's essentially the ending of this movie is essentially the same fucking ending that we got in Mad Max 2. It's like, why? But I want to get into this. The nuclear war stuff is so stupid. It is genuinely so stupid. I don't know why this is here. So apparently between Mad Max 2 and Mad Max 3, or Beyond Thunderdome, apparently nukes went out and killed everything. When Mad Max 2 explained to us that the reason society fell, or at least like the society was on the brink, or I guess fell, and why everything's like so like crime ridden and stuff, is because there was an oil crisis. There was a shortage of gas, petroleum, and that's what they went, and the humans sort of mutually destroyed themselves over the resource. That's how I feel like should have been, and this is like a more evolved way of saying that, like everything's pillaged and stuff. But no, apparently nuclear war. What? What do you mean? And the worst thing, and what I say about the Planet Earth tribe, is that the Planet Earth tribe are the descendants of, again, they're descendants of this crew, not of this group, but of these of the people who were on that plane. And I'm pretty sure the movie takes place 15 years after the events of Mad Max 2. I think it's said somewhere. Yeah, it's caused by ecocide and a nuclear war over resources. I think not having nuclear war, I don't know. I feel like it could have worked if they didn't say that society fell after Mad Max 2. They said that essentially society, if they said society fell after like Mad Max 1, I would have believed it. But no, it's between Mad Max 1, it's between Mad Max, here we go. Can I fucking zoom in? Alright, so apparently, okay, this makes sense. Apparently to the comics, the nukes happened between Mad Max 1 and 2. I would have fucking believed that. But then the nukes apparently happened after Mad Max 2, and like it doesn't really make any sense. And also, I guess that I guess, Furiosa captured by the Mentis gang. Yeah, whatever. I think I would believe that. And then Mad Max 3 happens. Yeah, that would make sense. Um. So apparently some people like really. So apparently like the movie wasn't really made with the nukes. Like Mad Max 2 wasn't really made with the nukes happening before that. I feel like I don't really care. I don't think anything really contradicts that. Did I close the tab with the? Oh, whatever. Doesn't really matter. I feel like it's not really contradictory if we get to that point, but I feel like it would have worked better if it was before Mad Max 2, at least. And like that sort of explanation there. I don't think it should have happened afterwards. I feel like by Mad Max 2, society has already collapsed enough. Like we see people scrounging for oil and stuff in any way possible. So I don't know. I feel like it wasn't necessary to have the nukes happen after Mad Max 2. Because then this doesn't really make any fucking sense. Because then it's 15 years, and what happened to Planet Earth tribe is that they're teenagers, they're kids. 15 years is not a lot of fucking time for it to be a kid, like a child only civilization. Where are the parents? Like I'm serious. Where are the parents here? I saw like on here that there's a pregnant girl here or something in Mad Max 3, which what the fuck? But anyways, let's see. Okay, hold on. Okay. Legit was a fucking okay. I don't know. I'm just looking at stuff here, but yeah, like I would think that like society, it wouldn't it really would not be that case in with that amount of time, with there being no parents around. It just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. So yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. Oh, so here, one of the oldest children of tribe of teenage child survivors of a plane crash are the children of those survivors. I don't know. Like if it's teenagers as child survivors of a plane crash, I don't know where like the 5-year-olds came from when it's been 15 years. Like that makes no sense. And if it's teenagers and they were like 3-year-olds, and I mean that kind of makes sense. But then, like again, the smaller children, the younger children don't make any sense. So it has to be like the other fucking thing, and it doesn't make any sense either with the 15-year gap. If it's just a little bit before that, if it's just, I don't know. Again, like it doesn't really make any sense timeline wise. I would say, like maybe if it was like directly after Mad Max 1, then maybe. But I don't know. I don't know if that would be enough. Like I think it makes no sense. But okay. Even then, the nuclear stuff doesn't make any sense either. I don't think. I don't think that's necessary. Or at least that maybe the nukes did happen. Like, I don't know. I don't think the nukes should have been a big part of that because I think it muddies the things a lot. So yeah, just there. I think the lore is muddied a bit with this sort of inclusion in here, but there is some good to be had in this movie. I feel the first 40 minutes are undoubtedly Mad Max. They are the best part of the movie, and honestly, if you want to watch this movie, just watch the first 40 minutes. You're getting a lot more. It's like a really good short film, really, about Mad Max. However, it's the next hour that really goes to shit, but let's go with the 40 minutes first. It is Bartertown, again, Mad Max to its core. The action is rated PG-13, but I feel like it's still good. So yeah, I think Bartertown is, and the scenes in Bartertown are undoubtedly Mad Max to the core. However, it is the next hour and an hour that just infuriates me to no end. After that, the movie goes to shit. We get introduced to the kids, which bring down the tone of the movie a lot. Bartertown was gritty. Bartertown was, again, Mad Max, like the other two movies. However, after that, it turns super kid friendly. It's about Mad Max taking care of these kids. I know what they mean, but goddamn, and the tone is so vastly different, and it's not for the better. The tone just goes downhill after that, and it goes into like this cartoonishly goofy thing for the next hour. It's like, and everything suffers because it's so dumbed down. It feels like they tried to do like a normal Mad Max story in the first 40 minutes, then decide to do another fucking movie for the next hour, like the 40 minutes afterwards, and then in the last 20 minutes they said, oh yeah, we have to close this out, so they made whatever the fuck the finale was. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? And then they went ahead and toned down the first 40 minutes. I don't know. It's so weird. It's such a weird thing. And something I noticed is the music. The music is like super like upbeat, like whimsy and stuff. That's not Mad Max. That is like undoubtedly not Mad Max. It's nothing that we saw in Mad Max 2 that was handled with the children there. It's just a thing in this movie. We don't get to see like anything how that really illustrates this world. I don't know. This movie just doesn't feel like Mad Max in any capacity at all. In tone, in the story afterwards, the story's so disjointed. Like I said, it feels like they're trying to make a Mad Max movie for the first 40 minutes. Then they did fuck all for the next 30, 40. And then they decided to close it out with actual, like, some semblance of Mad Max, but they realized that they had to do with something with the kids. So, yeah, it feels super disjointed. It's just not good. Like, that is the best way I can put this movie. If you're coming here wanting a Mad Max 3, you're not gonna get it. You're gonna get it in the first 40 minutes. But after that, you can stop watching because you're not going to get another Mad Max 3. And if you look to this as a fun time, like at least like a fun action movie, you're not gonna get that either. There's 2 fucking action sequences, one at the beginning, one at the end. Oh fuck. So you're not getting that shit either. It is mind-numbingly boring in the middle part with all the children and stuff. I don't care. I stopped paying attention. I don't do that usually. The last time I stopped paying attention was fucking Eternals. But the first 40 minutes are really, really, really putting the movie up. And a lot of the things I think happen during the first 40 minutes are really bringing this movie. And the effects and the action and Max as a whole are really bringing this movie. But it is just that hour, that last hour that brings this movie down so much, and it's so sad. I feel like making this movie PG-13 was a mistake. I feel like doing a lot of things in this movie it was a mistake. But yeah, it was a sad run, especially after Mad Max 2 being the great thing it was, you know? After Mad Max 2 being how good it was, this is a letdown. A full-on letdown. It's not even okay. You're not getting anything out of it. So, with that being said, I'm gonna put Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome in the D tier. Our first retro movie, our first retro thing ever, to go lower than C. Yeah, that's how bad this is. This is a disappointment. I have watched every single Mad Max scene to come out, and this is definitely the worst. By a long shot. A lot of people have been saying that people are over-exaggerating their feelings of this movie after the release and how polar and how like controversial it was for how the quality was. Bullshit. This is as bad as people say it is. It is not F tier for the sole reason that at least the first 40 minutes are purely Mad Max enjoyable. When I was watching the first 40 minutes, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the S tier Mad Max movie. This, even if it's PG-13, this movie's gonna fucking do it. I can assure you. But it didn't. It just didn't. That was a really sad thing to see. So yeah. It went down from like, I think the first 40 minutes are easily S tier Mad Max. But again, the next hour is so bad. It's so bad. So yeah. There it is. So what did you guys think about Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome? Leave in the comments below. All our socials in the description, and if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can follow us to stay up to date with our episodes. And if you like or dislike our content, you can rate us on there. If you're listening to this on YouTube, subscribe if you want to be up to date with our content. Like the video, like it if you like this episode. Dislike it if you dislike it. Share it around if you think it's worth sharing. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.